Now we are moving on with our lesson. Today I want us to discuss about the control panel. The control panel is a very important part of the computer because this is where we adjust computer settings. To access control panel, for those who are using Windows 10, you just type on the search box the word control panel. Then you will see control panel appearing like that. Now, as you can see, we have different settings. We have the sound settings in case you want to adjust computer sound. You have the mouse settings in case your mouse has a problem, you can access mouse. We have keyboard settings. We have taskbar settings. Just as we saw the other time, we can right click to adjust these settings. Come by, like date, you can also right click on date to adjust date settings. You can also go to control panel and open date and time. You can search for the setting that you are looking for. You just type on the search box date and time. Date and time, so DA. You will find that you can be able to access these settings. So if you want to quickly go to a settings, you can search through it in the control panel. Now today the first setting that I want us to look at is the system. When you open system, you are able to see computers information. When you want to buy a computer at home, before purchasing it, we have some settings that you need to know about your computer. The speed, the performance. You don't just buy a computer because of a large screen, because of a beautiful color. What is important when you're purchasing a computer is the size, the speed of the processor. So to access this information, one will go to control panel. As we started, we just type control panel. You open system settings. When you open systems, all that information will be displayed to you. Like you can see the Windows version that you are using. Some people are using Windows 7. Some people are still using Windows XP. So Windows 10 is the current one, the most recent one. Now we have the system processor. As you can see here, we have Core i5. That is a very fast computer. We have the RAM or the memory installed. This is 4 GB. It's also very fast. Now because I have this, I can be able to do a lot of things that other computers with less features. So when you're purchasing, those are the two important features that you need to look out for. If you want to know that if your computer is activated, you can just check at the bottom there. We have Windows activation. In the Windows activation, you can see that the Windows is activated. If it is not, it will also indicate to you that information. So we can see that in the control panel, we are able to tell the speed and the RAM of our computer. Another setting that I wanted to look at today is the mouse setting. You open mouse on the control panel. Remember, you can search for it to get to it, or if you've seen it, just open, click, then it will display. Let me minimize this window first. It will display the mouse properties dialog box. Remember at the beginning we talked about dialog boxes. They contain command buttons. Now on the mouse properties, we shall start with the buttons. So click on buttons tab. Under button configuration, we have this setting: switch primary and secondary buttons. Now we all know by now the functions of the right click and the functions of the left click. Right click, we usually right click to display options of the mouse, other options. We use left click just to open files, to go to direct commands, to click on OK or to click on cancel in a dialog box. Now if we switch primary and secondary buttons of the mouse, it means we have now exchanged the functions of the mouse. For me to be able to click OK, I cannot click again using the left button. Because I've changed the setting, I'll have to right click. So it is important that you understand when your mouse does not function the way you want, you can also be able to adjust that. Now, the double click speed. The speed at which you double click to open files, like I want to open this folder, you double click, you'll find that file is opened. The speed at which you do that to double click depends on how fast you set. If you set your computer at a very fast speed, you find that when you're trying to double click, you're not able. You try to double click twice, you're not able to open. This is because it is too fast for you. So for beginners, you can set your double click at a slow speed, and you can test your speed using that folder icon just that appears under double click. You can test. If you're able to close and open it, then you're good to go. That is the correct speed for you. Now, another setting in the mouse we have is turn on the click lock. This setting allows you, it enables you to highlight or draw without pressing down the mouse button. So for this, you can open your MS Paint. Remember MS Paint as you had opened. Select a line, draw a line. When you find that when you stop pressing this button, when you you stop holding that button, the line also stops drawing. Now what can we do when you enable this? When you click on apply, now when I try to draw this line, I'll hold my mouse down for a little while. Then when I release it, okay, and I just drag the mouse without pressing that button, you find that I'm able to draw this line, okay, and I'm not pressing any button. So if you want to use your mouse without holding the mouse button down, the left button down, you can turn on this click lock. You click on apply. Now moving on to the next tab, pointers tab. On the pointers tab, you can select how your pointer looks like on the screen. As you can see, this is how my pointer resembles. You can select a different pointer. We have black. If you want your pointer to appear black, you click on apply. You will see the change in the pointer. So as you practice, look at that. Also look at your favorite pointers on that tab. So I'll just change it back to my default. Click on apply. So every setting that you make sure you click on apply. Moving on to pointer options, I want you to be able to select the pointer speed, adjust the pointer speed. When you make it slow. Now when you see I'm trying to move the pointer across the screen, but it is very slow. But if you adjust this speed, you find that the pointer now on the screen moves at a very fast speed. So ensure you also attempt to do that exercise. Visibility, click on visibility. This one, you've activated pointer trails behind the mouse. So if you move your mouse around, you'll find that it has trails behind it. You can make the trails to be short or long, or you can do away with them. You click on apply. Hide the pointer while typing. This one will hide this pointer when you are typing in your document. Let's say you are typing in your WordPad program. Now show the location of the pointer when I press Ctrl key. When you select this setting, when you activate this setting, then you press Ctrl key on the keyboard. You'll notice that it is showing me where the pointer is located. If I hide my pointer a little bit and I press Ctrl, you can still see, because I had activated that setting, I am able to trace my pointer. But if I don't do that, now I press Ctrl, I'm not able to find my pointer, yet it is just there. Now when you move to the wheel tab, you can adjust the speed at which you scroll up and down. So then the more the number of lines you set, the faster your wheel will scroll up or down a document. So when you click on apply, though that is 29 lines, and I want to open up a program so that we scroll with you. So this is a program you can open WordPad. So I'll just create some text here, many pages. Now I'm using my wheel to scroll up. The speed at which I'm scrolling up depends on the number of lines I've set here. If I only set one line at a time and I go back to the same document, you find that I'm slowing at a very slow, the scrolling takes place at a very slow speed. So if you want to make it faster, you make sure you go to the mouse settings in the control panel. Under wheel, you just increase the number of lines, or you can put it moderately. You click on apply after you've finished applying those settings. Click on OK. Now another setting that I want you to look at in the control panel is the keyboard. So control panel, keyboard setting. Keyboard has 3 settings. The keyboard has, the first setting is repeat delay. Repeat delay, we can make the delay to be long so that we see. Then you can test by click here, just click, position your cursor at that text box, then press a key continuously. Press like letter F continuously. Now when I press that letter continuously, there is a delay between the first 2 letters. When you are testing, you can try, when you press F, before the second letter appears, that is the delay that we are talking about. That is repeat delay. Now when you adjust this, when you change this to short, the delay, to make the delay to be short, now when I press a key, you find that there is no delay between the first 2 letters. When you talk about repeat rate, when you make the repeat rate to be slow, repeat rate is simply the speed at which characters repeat themselves when you press down the keyboard. So the repeat rate, when I press letter F for example, you find it is very slow. My keyboard is very slow. You press continuously. But if I want my keyboard now to type text quickly, you can just click inside there, then test again. You find now my keyboard, my characters are being entered quickly. The cursor blink rate, you've seen the cursor even when you're working with WordPad. I'll still go back to WordPad. Let's see. You find that is our blinking cursor. The speed at which this cursor blinks depends on how you set it. You can set it to be very fast. You click on apply, so that when you go to your WordPad, you'll find the cursor is blinking at a very quick space. You can reduce, or you can set none. When you apply this setting, you go back to your WordPad, you'll find that now your cursor in your page does not blink at all. So those are some of the settings that are found on the control panel. Hope you enjoyed the lesson and be blessed. Thank you.